Moses Moody quickly. Liked his performance again. Again, solid output, 16 points, 3 rebounds off the bench, 5 of 10 shooting, 3 of 6 from deep. I think, did he make his first 3? I know he made 2 in the second quarter. One was a really tough, Richard Jefferson alluded to it in the broadcast, a really tough kind of moving back to the 3-point line. I think it was a kind of 2-man game with Saric, I think it was, where he made it over, a semi-contest. Made another one early in the third quarter. He started in place of Clay in the second half. Made another corner 3 there. I think his shot's looking great for starters. And that's probably the biggest thing is that for him, he's never going to be, a bucket getter in terms of, isolation, give the ball to him, go let him make a play. That's never going to be his go. And for that reason, I think his ceiling is kind of limited, particularly opposed to someone like Kuminga, who is a guy that you can give the ball to and he can go make a play. So for Moody, I think it's about, he shot 36, 30%, 37% across his first 2 seasons in the league. Like, could we get up to 40%? I think he needs to be a 40% guy to be a regular in the rotation. Now, that sounds like a high mark. I don't think it necessarily is, because playing, he's going to be in a lot of lineups where he's kind of the connector, right? Where he's, Steph, Clay, Wiggs, Dre, and maybe, CP is resting or doesn't have it that night. They want shooting out there rather than Loon. He could be one of those guys that does, he's a connector, as we saw in the postseason against the Lakers. And if that's the case, he's going to get some wide open opportunities playing next to Steph and Clay. And so I think shooting 40% from 3 is actually a fairly realistic mark for Moses Moody. And I think he's going to have to do that to be, a 15 plus per minute player for the Warriors this season. But again, good output from him. The defense is still a question mark to me. It's funny because coaches will say that, we want guys who don't foul, who play straight up, verticality, and they don't foul. They don't send guys to the free throw line. I do get frustrated sometimes when, an opposition guard or an opposition perimeter player is attacking against Moses off the dribble. And he kind of just puts his arms up and doesn't really contest in any meaningful way, and almost just is praying that the opponent misses it more than anything. And this is what Andre Iguodala did so well, right? No one's necessarily going to have the hands of Andre Iguodala, but the best defenders actually pick and choose their time where they swipe or they try and block a shot. I just don't see that from Moses. It's all kind of arms straight up, body vertical, don't want to foul at all. And I think he almost needs to be encouraged to, maybe there are chances where you see the ball and you think you can, swipe down and make a steal, or you can actually block a shot or something like that. And if you pick up a foul or two, so be it. And maybe that's, maybe he's kind of been discouraged because Steve has a short leash with his younger players in terms of, the amount of time they get on the floor. And if you see turnover mistakes or foul mistakes that shouldn't be forthcoming, then, you're quickly back on the bench. Maybe he's been discouraged by that, and that would make sense. But there are just times, I think, where he could do a little bit more defensively rather than just almost submit to the player and be like, I'm just going to pray that the guy misses it rather than necessarily, do anything.